Congratulations, you're fired. The words lingered in the conference room like thick smoke. I glanced at Trevor Williams, Humiliated Systems CEO, then at the 12 board members seated around the long mahogany table. Not one of them met my gaze. My name is Joel. I'm 49, and up until 3 minutes ago, I served as Chief Technology Officer at the very company I helped create from scratch. 15 years of my life went into building this place through servers, code, and endless late nights debugging critical systems. Trevor had that smug grin he always wore when he thought he'd outsmarted someone. The same look he had when he stole credit for the network security revamp I spearheaded last year, or when he announced our merger with Foxlane Innovations without informing me they planned to dismantle our infrastructure. You might want to explain to the investors why everything's about to reset in 10 minutes, I said as I placed my laptop and security badge on the table. Silence swept through the room. Trevor's grin flickered for a second, then returned. What are you talking about? He asked. I stood, fixing my tie. The automated maintenance protocol I installed last month. Every 30 days, the entire system resets and requires manual reauthorization from the CTO. That was me. Key word was. Board member Patricia Hayes shifted in her chair. What does that mean? It means, I said, checking my watch in about 9 minutes. Every database, every server, every line of software keeping this company afloat will shut down. And without my codes, it's staying down. Trevor's face lost all color. Bluffing, I headed toward the door, pausing only once. Veltri Dynamics client demo starts in an hour. That contract's worth $30 million. You might want to figure out how to get the system running again. By the time I reached the elevator, the panic had already erupted. I heard shouting behind the doors. Someone was calling it. Someone else had legal on the line. Trevor was yelling about criminal charges. 8 minutes. The elevator doors shut, and I descended to the garage. My truck sat in the same spot I'd used for 15 years, the very one Trevor tried giving to his nephew. Last month, under the excuse of senior staff priority, I got in and waited. 7 minutes. My phone began to ring. I had helped build Humiliated Systems from nothing. It started in Trevor's garage back in 2009. He handled sales. I wrote the code for small business. Inventory tools. We were supposed to be partners. The cracks started showing 3 years ago with the Fort Wayne municipal contract. I spent 8 months creating a flawless traffic control system. But when the mayor held the press conference, it was Trevor who stood at the podium, taking all the credit. I should have walked then should have known when he started calling my designs our vision and labeling my code as company property. But I believed in what we were building, thought my work would speak for itself. Kelly, my wife, saw the signs first. She watched me come home exhausted, fuming about Trevor dismissing my input during meetings, only to present my ideas as his own later. She listened, as I told her about him hiring friends who weren't qualified, making tech promises to clients we couldn't fulfill. He's using you, she told me over dinner 6 months ago. And when he's done, he'll toss you out like garbage. I defended him, said it was just board pressure, that once things calmed down, it'd get better. But it didn't. Trevor began excluding me from high-level meetings, saying they didn't need technical input. He hired Brandon Miller, a fresh college grad, as my assistant supposedly, to help ease my workload. Brandon spent more time in Trevor's office than in mine, learning the systems I'd built and asking questions about undocumented protocols. 2 weeks ago, I caught Brandon copying files from my private folders. When I confronted him, he claimed it was authorized for backup. When I asked Trevor, he gave me a flimsy excuse about an IT audit. Last week, Trevor began asking for my access. Codes. Claimed the board wanted security redundancies. I said I'd think about it. I should have realized then Brandon wasn't support. He was my replacement. Everything I'd built was being handed over bit by bit. Still, I trusted Trevor. After 15 years, I thought he was still my friend. 5 minutes left. Trevor called, right on time. His name flashed on my screen. Joel, we need to talk. No, we don't, I replied. Look, maybe I was hasty in there. The board's been breathing down my neck, pressuring me for changes. I was trying. To protect you? Protect me? It's the same lie he told himself to justify stealing my work and pushing me out. The system resets in 4 minutes, Trevor. What do you want? Let's work something out. Stock, severance, consulting deal. Nearly laughed. 3 minutes ago, he fired me like I was some intern caught printing resumes on company time. Now he wanted to negotiate. You brought Brandon in to learn my systems. You planned this. You just didn't plan for this. 3 minutes left. I could hear chaos through the garage walls, running feet, slamming doors. Someone was likely trying to override the reset manually. They couldn't. I had built multiple layers of protection against everyone, including the company itself. What do you want? Trevor pleaded, desperation now creeping into his voice. I want you to remember this, I said. I gave this company 15 years of loyalty. I believed in you. And you threw it away just to look strong in front of the board. 2 minutes. The Veltri Dynamics presentation starts in 58 minutes. No demo system, no client data. Good luck. Do I fix this? 1 minute. You don't, I replied, and ended the call. I started the truck and drove off. In 60 seconds, every device inside Humiliated systems would go dead. Lights off, systems down. And for the first time in 15 years, Trevor would have to deal with a crisis alone. The shutdown lasted exactly 4 hours and 37 minutes. I was sitting in Brennan's diner, drinking coffee, watching news coverage on the TV. Technical difficulties plague local software firm, the headline scrolled. Employees looked dazed as they were interviewed outside the building. My phone rang nonstop. Trevor, 17 times. Brandon, 8. Patricia Hayes, twice. I ignored them all. At 3:15 p.m., the lights came back on. They'd probably rebooted from emergency. Backups. It would take days to restore everything. At 3:47 p.m., I received a call from an unknown number. Mr. Turner.
Hey.
This is David Foster from Foster Collins & Associates. I represent Humiliated Systems. We need to discuss today's events. A lawyer. Trevor was coming after me. I haven't done anything illegal, I said. Sabotage is criminal, Mr. Turner. You may face serious consequences. The system worked exactly how I designed it. If Humiliated doesn't employ someone who can operate it, that's not my fault. You deliberately created a system only you could restart. I created a system that required a CTO's authorization. I was the CTO until 2:30 today. You caused a $30 million loss. And possibly hundreds of millions in damages. It chuckled. The loss happened because Trevor fired the one person who could run the system. We have documentation that says you've restricted access without approval. Now it was clear. Trevor was building a civil case, trying to crush me. Financially, document this, I said. Any action against me means I'll disclose all of Humiliated's vulnerabilities under oath. Every unpatched system, every shortcut Trevor approved. You're threatening to release proprietary info. No, I'm promising to tell. The truth. I hung up and ordered more coffee. 20 minutes later, Trevor called again. Joel, let's meet. Just us. No lawyers. Why? Because this is getting out of hand. We were friends once. There has to be a better way. He was scared. He needed me. Brennan's diner. 1 hour. Came 43 minutes later with Brandon. I watched from the window as Trevor paced in the parking lot. Brandon sat quietly in. The BMW, company car, probably. They joined me in a booth. Trevor looked drained. Brandon avoided eye contact. Coffee, I asked. Trevor shook his head. What's it going to take to end this? End what? Don't play dumb. The threats, the vulnerabilities. Name your price. You think this is about money? To you, maybe everything is. But I worked for more than a paycheck. How long have you been planning this? I asked. 6, maybe 8 months. While I trained Brandon for Veltri's contract, you were setting me up? Trevor motioned to Brandon. Show him the contract. Brandon slid over a folder. $50,000 for 90 days of consulting. $50,000. For 15 years of work? It's generous, Trevor muttered. Standard NDA, non-compete, full documentation required. They wanted everything. There's a problem, I said. What's that? You assume I want to work with you? Joel, be reasonable. Your reputation will be destroyed. I smiled. You know who called me this morning? Who? James Parker, Veltri Dynamics. Wanted to talk about hiring me as their new IT director? You're lying. Did you? My phone 7 missed calls from Veltri. He already knew I was leaving. Said rumors had been circulating. Trevor looked stunned. Who's been managing the Veltri deal the last 6 months? He froze. Patricia Hayes, I said. She's been feeding Veltri everything. And she's been recruiting me since January. You turned us over to Veltri? No. But when you fired me, you made it easy. Trevor pulled out his phone. I need to talk to Patricia. Too late. What do you mean? At 5 o'clock. PM Veltri announces the acquisition of our IP portfolio. It's impossible. You own the code. I own the patents. Trevor fell silent. They're licensed exclusively to Veltri for 5 years. I get a director position, equity, and 20% of revenue. What about Humiliated? Brandon whispered. That depends on Trevor. Veltri is open to licensing. Gross.